Joe.
Black Killa.
With blood, watch our IT, taking it back, way back. And I ain't talking about just rap, videos, interviews, real talk, Chicago news, ill state, trendsetter, Teflon up to the core. You can tell what we about, we step your foot up in our house. And once you done watching this, go line and check Chicago Cookout. We on, yeah, we on. Cause ain't no such thing as halfway shows. We on, yeah, we on. So tuned in to get tuned out. You know what to do now. We on, yeah, we on. We on, yeah, we on. We on.
Joe.
Black Killa.
Question number.
I told you, yo, I don't give a fuck what niggas think about me for real.
Question number 2. How do you feel about Chicago bearing the alternate name of Chi Raq? Do you feel that it feeds furthermore into the current state of gun violence, or that it's just a slick sounding name and that the older heads need to just kick back and deal with it?
Well, back in the day, Chi Raq, Chi Raq, we had that name for a long time, right? Nobody really tripped because the violence didn't catch up with the name. Everybody was screaming Chi Raq, you know what I mean? Like nobody really was tripping until the violence started catching up to the name. Then people started making it, they started making the word their theme. It's like it's their muse, their martyr. It's like, oh, we're gonna attack Chi Raq now. It's the word's fault. No, it's the community's fault. Like, I don't give a fuck what you name Chicago. You know what I'm saying? You can name this motherfucker, anything. Like, the name don't mean shit. You know what I mean? Like, people can label themselves as a killer. That don't mean they're a killer. And the name, it's like, it's negative, and like, it's of course it's negative, but I don't, like, it's really, people are making that the issue, and it's like words aren't gonna change anything. Like, you can label yourself whatever you want. It's the heart of the city. Like, Chicago's not a bad city. Like, I don't hate Chicago. I hate the people in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate the goofies that's fucking our city up.
Yes, sir.
Like, I don't hate Chicago. Yes, like, it's just we getting a bad rap because of the violence of the crime and the media, and it's because it's our turn. Like, it's because Chicago, it's our turn in the spotlight. Like, it's our turn as far as Atlanta had they shot, Cali, all these other markets they shot, and now it's our turn, but now the people that's rapping are involved in the gang culture. So now that's bringing a negative light to our city because they haven't been taught how to be politically correct. Like in Cali, you have brothers like Dr. Dre that taught Snoop, like, yeah, you could be a Crip, but you don't have to disrespect Bloods because you want all the money. You want money from the Blood sets and you want money from the Crip sets. You got people like the gang, who Dre mentored as well, who didn't disrespect Crips. That way he got 100% of his total gross sales. You got people like they had the gang truce. I was in LA when they was doing the whole gang truce, when they came out with the Bloods and Crip record. Like, we don't have people in power who would choose to do that for these kids. Like, they haven't been mentored, you know what I'm saying, to learn that, like, you don't have to diss another nation You know what I'm saying? Like you don't need that. Like especially like man, when you trying to get into this business of music, man, like you are getting into this business of music like you are a part of the few. You have to figure this market. In Chicago alone, I probably know 1,000 rappers. In Chicago alone, I probably know 1,000 rappers. Now, we got 50 markets. So times that time 50. And what is your numbers? And that's just a small percentage of people trying to go to radio, national radio, people trying to go to labels. Like think about that, 1,000 times 50. And that's probably a small number. We talking about 60 to 70,000 people trying to make it in this business. And you are few that's been fortunate enough to gain national attention. And you are casting a negative light through gangs. When you have the opportunity to you know, be better, to you know, to really represent the city and to help people out of the city. That's how Atlanta, man, you gotta figure, like when I used to work for a company called Jaguar, I was their main street team. We worked for every label except Def Jam. I used to come across Atlanta artists all the time, T.I., Shorty Low, Jeezy, you name it, we worked for them. And they conversations, they would have beefs just like we had. But they knew how to resolve them for monetary sake. Not even because they liked somebody. And for the sake of their city. Because they always would say, I'm going to do this for the A. So they used to know how to get money with each other. Like, I'm a king, I'm going to tell you, like I tell everybody a story. Like, it was a $2 bill tour, MTV. I had T.I. I was T.I. and PSC, right? Kevin Loud. Like, yo, I'm mad nervous. Like not only do I, like Kevin Loud and T.I. was in a deep conversation. It was over I'm a King song in the Hustle and Flow soundtrack. T.I. was telling Kevin like, yo, I just put Mac Boney and my people on the song. I waited for Scrappy. He never showed up to the studio a bunch of times. Like, I'm looking around like, should I be a part of this conversation? Do I need to step out? But his bodyguard, Ron, me and him, mad cool to this day, was like, nah, you cool. You know, it is what it is. So Kevin was talking to him, and he was like, yo, but you know, that's Lil Jon artist. Lil Jon did the beat. He really want him on the song. You know, he like, man, they was just going back and forth. So T.I. was like, man, you know what, man, I'm gonna put him on the song. It's cool, it's whatever, you know, we can work it out. And he like, man, you know, shit, it's for the A. I'm gonna do it for the A. I'm like, damn, I wish, you know, Chicagoans would understand that philosophy. Now, of course, it's about money, because they both getting paid, their residual royalties, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna boost both their stock. They on and just think about it, the unselfishness of the act. They was associated with a soundtrack they received a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? Like 3 6 Mafia got a Grammy from that. It cast a lot of light on that soundtrack. So look how it helped Scrappy and T.I., you know, just the whole situation when it could have been a negative situation. That's what Chicagoans, man, they gotta like put down they personal shit. They gotta put down the gang stuff and start thinking about the money they missing, yo. Like, it's not a lot of entertainers in this business no more. Me as a promoter, not just a street team, a promoter, I do shows as well. And like, it's how many artists can you really get nowadays? You know, it's not that many artists out here. So just imagine if people was less of a liability. People see a lot of these Chicago artists. You figure I'm one of the funnels that people use. People always calling me about shows, and I'm always trying to suggest different Chicago artists, but they like red flag because they see them as a liability. They see them as a risk. They don't show up to their shows, or they got too much gang shit. The mayor, you know what I'm saying? A particular artist, y'all probably know what I'm talking about. I don't want cause I don't feel like all the goofy shit, but like he was trying to go on tour, and he was getting, the mayors of some of these cities was like, nah, he can't perform here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like my people would call me like, man, that's fucked up. You dude can't even, like, so you can't even make money in these cities. But this what you got in the business to be a performer, to make music and for a national appeal. You could gangbang in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can kill each other all day, every day in the streets. You didn't get in the music business for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we all know 80% of your money come from shows. So if you can't do no shows, what do you got? You just sitting at the crib looking stupid. You ain't getting no money. You got a national record out, and you just chilling. That's fucked up. A lot of people with deals just chilling. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Question for you, brother.
Yeah, because that chicken is it's starting to come through the doors.
It's
so we
like,
gotta do something. We gotta.
It's seeping like that hand on the cartoons, like over my nose.
Yeah. So we gotta hurry up.
And that's the thing. I didn't realize I was hungry till I didn't smell.
Yeah.
So So this is the last question.
Let's make this question.
How do you feel about Chicago bearing the alternate name of Chi Raq? Do you feel that it feeds furthermore into the current state of gun violence, or that it's just a slick sounding name and that the older heads need to just kick back and deal with?
I mean, when you think of Chi Raq, you think of Iraq. When you think of Iraq, you think of war, and unfortunately. So, and it's definitely a war going on in our communities amongst our youth. And to me at first, okay, I thought it sounded slick. It was cool, but when and I have the clients coming here with the I don't wanna say they look a certain way, but they have this attitude. Some of them, and the whole Chi Raq thing. I now believe that I see that it has a certain negative impact on the youth, and I don't support the Chi Raq thing at all, because I think we need to be on something that can help elevate us, and I don't think that's helping elevate anybody in the community. In a community, you think of Chi Raq, like I say, you think of war, you think of guns, and it's just a whole attitude that I think we need to we need to put that to bed and put that to rest. So I'm not in support of any Chi Raq anything.
Now, you spoke on the fact that there's you see it within the youth. Have you noticed that there's a divide, though, like a dividing line between, like, okay, well, the youth see it this way and cats, like, let's say 20, 25 and up see it another way?
I mean, because it's a divide because they have pretty much been left to fend for themselves. You know what I mean? They don't have a lot of people to look up to or look forward to. It's like they have each other, and that's why it's such a, is a divide, because they look to each other. It's not any leaders. It's not a lot of leaders out here that they can relate to. It's leaders out here, but they can't relate to the young boy with no shirt, tattoos, and dreads on. A lot of these people turn their backs on them. And that's what how they feel. Man, y'all turned y'all backs on us, so all we can do is rebel, and that's all we're gonna do is rebel. And they fight amongst each other, and each other is the enemy, and it's it's just crazy. They don't have an icebreaker. Nobody's talking to them. It's like the older people are abandoning them because they are so afraid of them, and they're afraid of them because they can't relate. They don't know how to communicate with them. They don't know how to talk to them. They just see them as, they see them and they stereotype them because of how they look with the dreads. And that's why, earlier when I was speaking about it, I didn't want to say, yeah, because they look like this and they look like that. But, man, these kids feel abandoned. They don't have any, they look up to rappers and athletes and, with the gold and you know what I mean? So that's what they see. They idolize and they look up to what they see on TV. And they aspire to be what they see on TV. As far as entertainment, athletes, so on and so forth. It's very rare that you can talk to a young man in the inner community and they say, yeah, I want to be a judge, or I want to be a senator, or I want to be this. They want a Gucci belt and they want to be a rapper, or they want to go to the NBA, or they want to go to the NFL. Or, you know what I mean? They want to be a record producer, a music producer,
Joe. Black Killa.
Young felon, C-Note, Ray Nathan B.
Grinding so hard.
Smoking black, Don Eno, Dobson Mob is.
Grinding so hard.
You know I'm.
Grinding so hard.
You see me.
Grinding
grinding so hard. We keep on grinding so hard. I'm out here grinding so hard. I be grinding so hard. I can't stop grinding so hard. I won't stop grinding so hard. You know it's grinding so hard. It's a slow day, man, no way. I only got rid of 3 bricks in a 4-way. I gotta get money, yeah, we keep it moving. I got the best work, I keep the block juking. Man, what you need, because we got it all.
Whole keys, half keys, OCs to 8 balls.
I got them pounds for you, yeah, they 13. They 2 for 22, I got them dirt cheap. And if you wanna smoke 60 for the 14, or bring me 120, you could get the whole thing. I know you can't accept it, sometimes the truth be hard. If you ain't getting money, man, you's a goofy mob. You see me, we keep on, I'm out here, I be, I can't stop, I won't stop, you know it's, you know I'm, you see me, we keep on, I'm out here, I be, I can't stop, I won't stop, you know it's, I gotta hustle hard, with no distractions. I gotta duck them bras, they get no reaction. Focus on my money, he know about that cream. Gotta push that white, gotta sell that green. I got them 7s for you, yeah, they $1.50. That real Jack Kush, hey, get up with me. That boy so clean, but my hustle so greasy. I grind so hard and make it look so easy. I got Viagra white, I mean it so hard.
Ugly whip game, all my pots is so strong.
Damn, being broke, man, I'd rather ball. Nobody gave me nothing, I had to take it all. You see me, we keep on, I'm out here, I be, I can't stop, I won't stop, you know it's, you know I'm, you see me, we keep on, I'm out here, I be, I can't stop, I won't stop, you know it's. When I was 13, older hustlers hated me. I stepped in the game with a pound and an A for key. Broke it all down, bagged it up off the scale. Started delivering packages to get my mail. All my transactions were done hand to hand. Straight defense, I ran them zones from man to man. I need all my money, straight cash, no deals.
I'm grinding so hard like I just popped 4 pills.
And I can't stop, at least not right now. I gotta make it pop, because I'm hot right now. So you can come get it, because I got it. I grind so hard to
keep this money in my mind.
You see me, we keep on, I'm out here, I be, I can't stop, I won't stop, you know it's, you know I'm, you see me, we keep on, I'm out here, I be, I can't stop, I won't stop, you know it's,
back and deal with it?
Nah, I think I definitely agree with the older heads. You know, like Chi Raq is definitely not a term that I use frequently. You might catch me saying it, you know, slipping up saying it or whatnot, but nah, I definitely think it adds on to the violence and people want to, you know, add on to that. So yeah, I agree with that.
Now, when you say slip up, what?
Like slip up, like especially when I say slip up, especially when I'm hanging out with the younger generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you can kind of adapt to what they say. You know, so I might slip up and get on my Chi Raq stuff every now and then.
Okay.
But yeah.
So that the youth kind of draw you into that a little?
They can. They definitely can. You know, but it's all about you and how you present your music and how you flip it on them. You know, so.
Now, presenting your music. Now, I've talked to a few cats and they've mentioned that that they feel that the name Chi Raq came with the drill music. Do you feel that plays a role in it? That drill music?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. I think that kind of, you know, both of it kind of came hand in hand. You know, at the same time. Yep, I do.
Okay. What you think about the drill music?
You know, I ain't knocking it. You know, like everybody got. Actually, you know, it put a lot of shine on Chicago right now, actually, so I'm not mad at it at all. But everybody do what they do, man, you know?
Nah, I personally take a bit of offense to it because I'm a veteran. I fought in 2 wars, so I was over there. And for you to say that my home, the place that I was raised, where, you know, my parents nurtured me and brought me up to be a respectful citizen and person, I take personal offense to that. I don't dig the whole Chi Raq thing. I mean, most of the people that are hollering Chi Raq in records and interviews have never been on a battlefield and have no sense of what it takes to survive in that mode, and to even, you know, say that in a sense as if they were soldiers is just, it's offensive, dude. Because I got brothers that died out there on the battlefield. And then I seen the ones who were, you know, I don't say that anybody should have a particular religion or anything of that sort. I believe in God, and that is what it is. However, when the bullets started flying, I saw a whole lot of atheists start praying. And I thought that was kind of funny. So with that whole Chi Raq deal, I actually did an interview on 106.3 where they were talking about, you know, the whole use of the Chi Raq thing, and I kind of put it out exactly the way I'm doing right now. Like I say, if you don't know anything about Chi Raq or Iraq, leave that alone. I mean, why put fuel behind something and behind something so negative?
Yeah, that's kind of like a 50-50 thing. I mean, like, I think it's more of like, what are we gonna do about it? You know, because we can call Chicago a piece of shit, and if we don't feed into that, the name ain't gonna really mean nothing. But you know, if you feed into it and you feed that and you make it a piece, then it's gonna be a piece of shit. So as far as, you know, like the Chi Raq, I mean, you know, people got, you know, it's slick names for every little, you know what I'm saying, city. It is, they have, you know what I'm saying, like, Capone Noriega comes from his projects, what they call a left rack, you know what I'm saying, so like Iraq, you know what I'm saying. And I think it's more like a slick name, and you know, people, I really think people are feeding a little bit too much into that, into the name itself. Then let's do something to remedy that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Do something to change the mentality. So, okay, if you still want to call it Chi Raq, you can, but at least the violence that go on ain't going on like that no more, you know what I'm saying? Or it's lessened.
My view on the word Chi Raq to identify Chicago, violence, youth, being introduced through rap music, whatever the case, I think it's easier to use the term Chi Raq to identify with the violence, to vilify those who are doing the violence. Like, Chi Raq puts you in a mind of war, chaos. And when you identify with people by using a term like Chi Raq, you kind of garner up the support to say, yeah, we don't want that. That's the wrong thing. So opposed to saying it's a problem, it's a social problem, an economic problem, an education problem, you're gonna take the people with these symptoms and label them Chi Raq to the degree where you identifying a group of people by a country that was just bombed and beat up by America's military. So I think that it's a diversion from the real cause of the violence that we seeing a lot of time on these streets.
The name is a diversion?
The name is a diversion. The name Chi Raq is a diversion. It's a diversion from the real case of what's happening, which is, in a lot of cases, gentrification, lack of education. It's easier to use those words when you're trying to garner up support to buy more guns for the police, get more financing for penitentiaries. That's what I really think it is. Chi Raq is something to identify the youth, primarily the youth, as public enemy number one. And as far as the old heads kick back and deal with it, we have to kick back and deal with it, but my definition of deal with it is do something about it and not accept it. It all depends on what you and I'm not saying go out and put your life on the line and get shot by a Chi Raqi. Put your words on the line, put your actions on the line. You feel me? After all, some of the gangbanging that us older people were the first shots in the war we call Chi Raq. We bust them first shots. Them little dudes learn how to get it in from looking at us. You feel me? But what happens is, we didn't go down with the ship. Some of us jumped off the ship, swam to shore. And some of these shorties is like, where the generals, where the heads. Some of them jumped off the ship, some of them was put off the ship, and broke down from, this is Chicago, CPD, locked up in jail, the whole 9 yards. So it's a combination. It's a real bad stew. It's a real bad stew of stuff.
Man, is that Chi Raqi term, man? Is that something that you penned, or is that something that's been floating?
It just came out of my mind right then and there. I'm a freestyler, bro.
Man, look, I think you need to put a pat pen though down with. Seriously, in the age that we're in right now, you need to trademark that, because seriously, they might start using that, like Chi Raqis and whatnot.
Hey, bro.
I'm just saying, man. Square biz.
I feel you, bro. I hear you loud and clear.
I had a bunch of questionable thoughts when it comes to the Chi Raq name. Chi Raq, in my opinion, I think that, as much as it can do damage, is also as much as it can promote the listener to pay attention. So let's just say you go by Chi-Town. How many people are going to move their head because you say Chi-Town? Hardly any. You say Chi Raq, Chi Raq. What they mean by that? That's going to gather some attention. Then you might be willing to actually figure out what they mean by it, right? So, then I also look at it from this standpoint. Iraq is a very violent country, right? It's violent for a lot of particular reasons, whether it's Shiite Muslims going against Jews or Hebrews or whatever. It's violent for different reasons, right? Well, you take our city, Chicago is violent for different reasons, whether it's the folks going against the brothers, the cops against everybody, or whatever. It's the same scenario, right? It's just different names, right? And I can't say that, it's a bad thing. It's only a bad thing if you allow it to be a bad thing. I think that saying Chi Raq is no different than if I said Chigopolis, Chicago and Metropolis. You know what I mean? That's where Superman lives, and I happen to feel that we super out here. So Chigopolis, right? Chi Raq. It's violent out here like it's violent out there. It's Chicago, it's Iraq. It's just, it's a way just to bring both the names together, I think. I think it's only as bad as you make it. If you put that much emphasis on something that has a negative connotation to it, then that's what you're going to find out of it. I could say, Iraq is also home in Israel and all of that, which is the birthplace of a lot of people's religion. So how about Chi Raq being the birthplace of something good too? Like the new form of hip hop that everybody is swallowing up.
Joe. Black Killa. Joe. Black Killa.
Yeah, that's your hood, you go it up. 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 Where you from? North side. Where you from? East side. Where you from? South side. Where you from? West side. That's your hood, you go it up. 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 Where you from? North side. Where you from? East side. Where you from? South side. Where you from? West side. Where you from? You throw it up. Where you from? You throw it up. I'm smoking on these chronic blunts. I think I'm about to throw it up. Just smoke, just blow, overdose the dust. Got guns like it is. Guns are rusting. God, we trust my gun straight bust. Prove that nigga, he's a punk. Never been a lame. Youth in the game. If you know pleasure, you gotta know pain. Yeah, I make it snow. Yeah, I make it rain. Game is a bitch, so I gotta make it came. What's a man come? Finger in the thumb. She look like a star, but she act like a bum. That's the hood that I come from. That's the hood that I come from. Yeah, it's cold. I make it flurry. Yeah, I'll be there in a hurry. Don't you never ever worry. I rob if they actin' scurry. Bitch know that I'm from the shot. Like a bird, my swag just fly. I know you love when I eat your pie. That's why I make you eat my fries. Love is crazy, so it's college. Keep that paper in your wallets. Got that AK in my trunk and bump like I locked up in the closet. I hate to be mean, it's not the Jesus way, but that's how it is, you wanna make it today. That's your hood, you go it up. 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 Where you from? North side. Where you from? East side. Where you from? South side. Where you from? West side. That's your hood, you go it up. 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 Where you from? North side. Where you from? East side. Where you from? South side. Where you from? West side. Cooking up the game in the kitchen. The messages get lost, but I think it's stripping. Niggas don't know nothing but 4 parts to a chicken. Would you take the easy way out? Well, I ain't tripping. All I know is that it's motherfucking time to get it. Yeah, it's paper boy, still got the keys to the city. Monday is the red thing, Wednesday is the blue thing, Friday is the black thing, Sunday, cocaine. Now you know it's bang gang. We get high like chain gang. Pow pow, bang bang. Take over, overtake, Hall of Fame. Ballin' hard like D-Rose. And the story unfolds. The game is dead but we rose. Hoes, I got a busload. Love, life, royalty, death before dishonor. I had to make a move, please forgive me my father. I gotta give a shout out to my baby mama. One day we'll be like Michelle and Barack Obama. That's your hood, you go it up. 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 Where you from? North side. Where you from? East side. Where you from? South side. Where you from? West side. That's your hood, you go it up. 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 Where you from? North side. Where you from? East side. Where you from? South side. Where you from? West side.
Joe. Black Killa. Dobson Mars. I just had to get this off my chest. Cause niggas got to feel how I feel.
If I were to take any of those two, I had to take the latter. I'm probably one of the few people out here who approve of the term Chi Raq. And the reason being is that it's the only word that I've seen ironically unify, you know, more than any other Chicago term prior to now. I've seen things done with people who would probably in previous cases been violent amongst each other. I've seen the word sort of pull these people together in efforts of representing Chi Raq. No one's ever been, you know, approached, killed, put in any violent situation in efforts of representing Chi Raq. Because, in all honesty, it's a word that means Chicago. And prior to Chi Raq, the West Side was the West Side, South Side was the South Side, East, so forth and so on. So to see the word come about, especially it being a music term, and it, you know, growing from music, and it's being like probably one of the hotter terms. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be honest, Chi-Town is kind of dated. Windy City is whack. I mean, nobody wants to do this. So let's just be honest about, you know, Chi Raq is just flat out hot, and it's a rap term that represents Chicago. Now the media took it and turned it into some glorification of violence, but I don't think it's anything more glorifying than, you know, Killer Queens or anything like that. So and it's one of the places that it's the only term I've seen that represents Chicago as an umbrella, and that the city can collectively, you know, the young people in the city can collectively represent. In regards to older people not agreeing with it, I don't think there's ever been a time where, you know, the youth and adults got along. So there's nothing new about that.
You know what? The older heads need to just deal with it. It is what it is. We're in a war zone all over the world. Chi Raq and Iraq are two different entities, but they have the same concept. And that is, we all are either a victim of circumstance, a victim of violence, or we creating the violence. Point blank. It is what it is. So.
Well, seeing that the recent gun violence in the city of Chicago is definitely on the rise, I think that name and that term may be kind of glorifying the war zone, or the way the war is over in Iraq, where the U.S. soldiers are over there fighting for a cause to have the people in Iraq to have certain types of freedom that we have in America. But when you say Chi Raq, I think it is glorifying what's the violence and the things that are going on in the streets, and I don't embrace the name, and I never will.
I think it does feed into it. Do I like it? No, because if you think about it, as an adult, now that I'm older, basically Chi Raq sounds like Iraq to me, and that's not something you play about. Like, that's a real live war that's been going on, and at the end of the day, we're from here. Why would we want to be named after basically a war that people are dying, families are losing their children, and I don't want to be called Chi Raq. This is where I'm from, this is where my family is from, this is where I might raise my kids up at, and it's just senseless behavior. So no, I don't agree with Chi Raq.
I think, you know, I got mixed feelings on that. You know, I think that I'm all for, on one hand, I'm all about words and wordplay. You understand what I'm saying? So I do think that, you know, calling Chicago Chi Raq is creative. I do think that's creative. You understand what I'm saying? And I do think it is a fitting name, because it's crazy out here. You know what I'm saying? It might be as bad as the war in Iraq, you know, or worse. You know, because we on our own soil killing each other. You understand what I'm saying? But do I think that it should be glorified? No, I don't think that's something that you know, should be championed. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think that we should go from city to city and say, oh man, you know, I don't think we should celebrate Chi Raq like, you know, we celebrate the 6 championships that Michael Jordan won, you know, that the Bulls won in the 90s. I don't think we should celebrate Chi Raq like that, you know.
I think it's both. I think it's a clever, slick, witty play on words, and it does apply to the violence and to the things that go on in the city, but in the same breath, I also think that it is a negative term because you associate Iraq with war, with killing, you associate Chicago with that, so when you put them together, it's only a double entendre of the negatives combined. So I do think that it does bring negative press and negative attention, and it keeps people in a mindset that as long as you use the word Chi Raq, as long as you accept the term and you run with it, then the lifestyle and everything that comes along with the terminology is gonna exist and still run coherent with the words. So yeah, it's definitely a good thing and a bad thing. It's definitely overrated but underrated at the same time. It's a gift and a curse with the whole Chi Raq thing right now.
Kick back and deal with it.
It's both in a sense, you know, but if you look, Chi Raq / Chicago, Iraq, there's nothing beautiful about what's going on in Iraq. You know, it's war, always war. They're over there shooting and killing, but we don't know the real reason why they're shooting and killing. But the violence that's going on today in Chicago is in comparison to the violence that's going on in Iraq. So they dubbed it Chi Raq because there's always gunshots going on here. And it's not cool, it's not slick, but to the kids it is like, it's a concept. You know what I'm saying? We all did conceptual wordplay in our lyrics and stuff that made you think, oh, that's dope, Chi Raq, but no, it ain't nothing cool about that, man. These kids are killing each other every day. And it's bad, and we got a jacked up mayor right now that ain't doing nothing about it. And then the conceal and carry's in effect here in Chicago, so that even made it even worse, you know?
Now, I want to delve a little deeper into what you said about as far as the mayor is concerned. Now when you say that he's not doing anything about it, what actually can the mayor do as far as controlling these kids, these children out here that are committing the violence?
He can listen to these parents, for one, and not one in and out the other and play politics, shake hands and kiss babies to get back in office. He can listen to the parents, and they need to put I think a stricter law in effect for these teenagers. These kids that stay out late. When we was young, we went in when the street lights came on. That's what it was, that's what it is.
And they had enforced curfew.
They enforced curfew, yes. Yeah. The curfew was enforced and we was in. Unless you was with an adult, you know, you outside, that's cool. But these young kids now, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, they out there wilding, coming in the house 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and stuff like that. Most of the violence that occurs mostly at nighttime. If you're in the house, I can't say the violence won't continue, but if you're in the house, you're more safer than being outside. You know, the mayor he ain't playing his part. He doing what he can do that because he's in the office right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's a money thing with me, so.
I've been saying Afghanistan though, so I ain't no hater of no name, but that's me. My mind frame go way beyond shallow shit, so I would say it could.
Joe.
Black Killa.
On a roll in the streets, A+ everything.
Right down the street where they killed them. Maurice where they sent them. Found them dead on the spot. Couldn't speak to the victim. I could speak on the system, but that's a typical story. I ain't preaching, I miss him. He get the kick you with Corey. Bennie look over Kina. Say goodbye to Miss Alice. but a Fuko with me though. Know these streets is a mess, swear the picture is vivid. Ain't no point of complaining, I ain't tripping, I'm living. Had it all with a jerk, jagged it off like I'm horny. It could all be worse, that's the truth, but it's corny. Pop a bottle for pop, pour it out for my niggas. Only swallow Ciroc, these broke niggas is bitter. I ain't going nowhere, I'm in the hood like we Tim's. Produced by Beat Beast, get ready to meet Sims.
It's beautiful, hey, gonna take you a picture. This my grandma's step, her baby little sister. This the streets, this the streets, this the streets, this the streets. Said it's beautiful, hey, it's a brand with no filter. There go granddad's spot, and right there with that kicker. This the streets, this the streets, this the streets.
We major. Fuck y'all niggas. Fuck y'all niggas.
Ain't no peace in the killing. At an all-time high. Ain't no heat in my building. Down the street from Obama. I ain't even ecstatic. Wish I was in position. All I do is imagine. They say my money was funny and I was selling my link. I went right back to the store. It's just a felon in me. These niggas jealous of me. Right down the block where they stay. It's like we beefing forever. But see, I'm not finna play. I heard them people was on me right when my grandmama died. Rest in peace, Jetty B. I put my ass on the line. Don't condone it at all. I'm endorsing the streets, putting food on my table. Least my daughter could eat, and it's beautiful, ain't it? I be damned if you differ. Came a long damn way without no dad in the picture. Look like he on the news. How come he looking happy? Cause DOC in the blue, and Crook County in khaki. Let's go.
It's beautiful, hey, gonna take you a picture. This my grandma's step, her baby little sister. This the streets, this the streets, this the streets, this the streets. Said it's beautiful, hey, it's the brand with no filter. There go granddad's spot, and right there with that kicker. This the streets, this the streets, this the streets, this the streets.
EMG Studios, shouts out DJ Honor, Stack of Stars, DJ Hustlenomics. Let's go, let's go.
Joe.
Black Killa.
Joe.
Black Killa.
Joe.
Black Killa.
Dobson Mars.
I just had to get this off my chest. Cause niggas got to feel how I feel.
You know, I don't get it. You know, I don't get it. I think it's bad in the sense of trying to equate the violence problem of Chicago with the violence problem in Iraq. I think they're two totally different things. I think that even with the violence problem in Chicago, there's still things that we take for granted here as a Chicago native that aren't in Iraq. Like, we have cable TV. Like, a lot of people don't have cable TV in Iraq. So to call this Chi Raq, it's like, yeah, it's nowhere near Iraq. Thank God. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure there are Iraqi citizens who are like would give their left arm and probably try to get to Chicago, to get to a place like Chicago where they still have free opportunity and an opportunity for free enterprise, and they can start a new life and things like that. Like, this is still America at the end of the day. So folks that call it Chi Raq, it's like, okay, so it's kind of clear that you really don't have an idea of what goes on in Iraq. If you did, then you probably wouldn't be calling it Chi Raq. You'd be calling it Chicago and Iraq. I That's something that never caught on with me. I never call it that. So like this is Chicago. This is its own city, and Iraq is its own country, and it's like it's two different things. It's apples and oranges.
Well, it's absolutely something that no civilized person who loves their community and loves the people in the community wants to embrace, because it especially in the way that it can be popularized as a recognition of the violence that happens in our community. What I would love to see and to know is that our community can be a place of peace, but we can't be, you know, those of us who are in our 30s and 40s and 50s, we can't be what's the word I'm looking for? We can be so judgmental in our older years. You know, it's no different than Terrortown. It's no different than Lund City and some of the names that we called different communities back in the day. So it's not a new thing to identify an area that has had a high level of violence in some kind of unique, slick, play on words kind of way. But what it is doing is highlighting the violence, and it should be a battle cry or a sound. It should be a recognition of the state of emergency that we're in. And those of us that are hearing it, then the men should be running out into the communities in full force to push back on that kind of mentality and the image. We cannot forget what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan did in 1995 with the Million Man March. This, as he talked about it during that time, was in direct response to the negative portrayal of black men in the media. And it was to show us in a different light and to show us as being and wanting to be responsible men to our community. And it pushed back the calls for the National Guard. There was a decrease in crime. So what we see today is a continuation of a plan that wants to label us and identify us as savages and beasts, so that we can even be calling ourselves for the National Guard and for state police to come in and really make this community a police state. So it's not something that we should embrace. It should be something that we should understand, again, the hidden hand, so that we can move in a way that's strategic. That's why I love the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because I haven't heard him say it like this, but for a lack of a better way to say it, he understands that we're not playing checkers, we're playing chess, and it's for our survival.
Last part, the older heads just need to kick back and deal with it. Well, you know, I don't consider myself one of the older heads because I don't feel that way, but I know they would. The youth would see me like, yeah, you one of the older heads. That's what my nephew say, man, you one of the older heads, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely don't feel we need to just kick back and deal with it. As far as the name, we know there's something in the name. We can't write off words. If you're in a park and it's called Paradise Park, well, that park should represent a paradise. It should look like a paradise, you know. So the name Chi Raq takes after Iraq, plays off of that. Iraq is known for war. What is Chicago known for? Violence, war, so to speak. So it definitely plays its role. I mean, the very name of it came from violent acts. We didn't call it that when it was peaceful, when we was having a low percentages of violence. They didn't come out and say, oh yeah, this Chi Raq, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody being killed. You know, like we said, this is Chi Raq, man. It's real out here, man. You know what I'm saying? You mess around, get shot. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get killed. Be careful. That's because of the violence. So and it became named Chi Raq, like Iraq, you know. And me personally, since I know there's always something to a name, it's just not a name. This is something we calling it. Nah, that's never the case. I feel that we have to lose that name. But the thing about it is that in order to lose that name, we have to lose what produced the name. And what produced the name? Violence in our neighborhoods,
killings in our neighborhoods. So we have to work and get rid of that first so we can lose the name. We can throw the name away, but what if the acts are still being committed? Then it's like, you know, it'll still be viewed like, yeah, that's still Chi Raq. Because now the name is here, it's kind of stuck on us, you know, it's like a stain. So even if they stop saying it, the acts will keep the idea there. So yeah, we need to lose it.
I feel that initially it picked up off of what's going on with the gun violence and crime in the city. Am I happy of the name? No. But am I knowledgeable that it contributes to what's going on? Yes. Do we need to destroy that name? Yes. How are we going to destroy that name? By taking back the streets, actually getting out here, putting forth effort. Should the name be, you know, hidden? Or at the same time, I feel it shouldn't go anywhere until we actually, you know, fix what's going on. We got to fix Chicago, actually. It is Chi Raq. If you look at it, it's murders every day, not just one or two. It's more than that. People getting shot, people shooting, killing, and the statistics here, you know, is more murders, more killings, more wounded in Chicago than in the war in Iraq. So when you look at it, Chi Raq is we are worse here than the troops going overseas. So we really got to fix what's going on in our city to get it back to Chicago to destroy Chi Raq. That's what I feel.
I think we should just drop the name just because Chicago is a gangster city, you know what I'm saying? Like, so let's not even lie to each other, you know what I'm saying? I'm 32, I ain't even gonna lie to you niggas, you know what I'm saying? I done seen all kind of shit and heard all kind of shit, and everybody that's, you know, probably seeing this from Chicago, then did all kind of shit from your grandmama to your cousin, you know what I'm saying? The term Chi Raq isn't adding to anything, and the violence ain't got no worse. Niggas been dying, women been getting raped, niggas been getting stripped naked, all kind of wild crazies. This is not new. You know, shorties getting killed in the projects. None of this is new. You know what I mean? None of it's new. You know, the gentrification of them breaking down the projects, right? You know what I'm saying? That gentrification is when you take one group of people from one area and move to another area, but you make the area that you remove the people from better, so much better that they can't afford to live there. I.e. the projects. What happened, right? You know, we got a new mayor and we got a whole new area that you can't live in, that you used to live in. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Chi Raq, but now it's Chi Raq in the south, because it's a lot of space in the southern areas of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that whole Chi Raq thing, who coined it? People ain't even thinking about that. Who coined it? We Facebook every day, Facebook shit like shit. Who coins that shit? You didn't. I woke up, saw it, and I shared it. That's what you do. That's what we did. So I don't agree with the term, but I say let's not lie to each other. Father Flagga been trying to keep the city together. Daley was doing this thing at the time to help. Chicago's violent. It's been violent. I think the name is just weak as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Just because I don't think it's a hot name. But I don't believe that the name Chi Raq has anything at all to do with the violence. Chicago has been violent. It's just not everybody talking about it.